Hello there. Today we're up on Saddle Mountain with the Lakeside Gem and Mineral Club. Members are kind of scattered around here and there. Giving them kind of, I'm leading the trip again, and gave them kind of an intro of what to look for, things to do, which you can see on my previous videos. And since I've got a lot of chips of petrified wood already and small pieces, I figured I would make an executive decision, and I picked a spot to dig in, so that's what I'll be digging in today. And I chose it because I'll turn you around. I'm gonna focus in this area here, which if you've been up here before, kind of the main big pit is over that way. It looks like this area is a little bit new. A few small, deeper holes, singular people excavating just a single spot, it looks like. And that's what I'm gonna do here because I kind of wandered around. There's been a little bit of digging in this area. Maybe it's turned over a little bit, but I figured I looked around and saw immediately a few decent pieces, a couple of fragments, and a little bit of color here and there. There's a few more that I haven't picked up just because I don't want to bother with the really small stuff, but I'm going to see what I can dig in, I don't know, maybe like an hour in this spot. You can see this piece practically glowing in the sun already. Actually, I think I'll keep that one. That looks nice. Nice little shard. Okay. Don't know how much recording I'll do this time, but we're just gonna, if I find anything super amazing, ridiculous, then I'll cue you back in. After a little bit of digging, I found an interesting little limb cast thing, maybe. Part of a root, it looks like. It's kind of twisty. Keep that one, I think. And I've started to get down into this crumbly, really, crappy quality wood, or X wood. But this is about the layer that I found that little bit of root in, so I'll expand out from there. This is a piece, kind of a outside, not quite barky piece, but there's a little bit of exterior texture on that one. And I don't know if I'm guessing that's basalt, but I'll dig out around this area and see what else we turn up. Been digging for maybe 20-30 minutes and have a pile of little chips and things to toss aside, I guess. And I did just hit something interesting, which I don't think it'll amount to anything, but this looks like it looks like a solid piece of wood, but I've started to kind of flake it away real easily, so I think it'll be really crumbly and kind of that low-grade stuff that'll just flake apart, but maybe there'll be something more solid in here. One can hope, although I can kind of rock this. I know you can't see that in the video, but I'm breaking that apart real easily. So this is all, unfortunately, a big rotten piece of wood. But I'll dig it out and see if there's anything more solid in the area. And it's one of those things where I've been digging, here and up, and this piece was sitting just below where I was digging. So you never know if you're an inch from a 20-foot log in this area. Well, I dug a little bit deeper, and it turns out the kind of multicolored stuff was what I think is underlying rosa basalt. I think that's what's underlying the petrified wood. Lots of vesicles, altered with water for sure. I don't know if any of it is intermingled with the wood, but I'm guessing all of this is solid basalt underneath here now, so no real point in digging down further there. So now I gotta decide if I want to keep going out this way. It's lunchtime, so I'll take a break and think about it. I heard someone found a log over this way, or a pretty good sized chunk, so we'll take a look if they want to show it off. I heard there was a pretty good sized chunk.
Yeah, we're getting lots of chunks.
Do you mind if I get some on camera?
Sure, he can show you what we got.
This was nice. It was like kind of a nodule of it,
Cause see, this is what I just got out of there.
Yeah.
But she's got stuff that is kind of like a limb.
Oh yeah, looks like a limb, yeah.
And I mean, we got a nice stuff.
And look at even this one's striped.
Nice.
She's just pulling it out to be good to tumble. And
It takes a good polish too if it's nice and silicified.
yeah, like you say, that's what I told her I'm interested in, just a bunch that will tumble, And So I like the ones that like I think this is kind of a little piece of a limb.
Yeah, it looks pretty round.
Yeah. She just really keeps pulling it
Here's
out
your
of there.
sandwich, Mom.
And I don't see any layers in that one, so that might be a limb cast where it was hollow and then filled in.
Set it down just a
Yeah, yeah, because if you...
There's spiders.
Now, what is the acid that you put on here to get the white?
That's my seat.
Just muriatic acid would be a good, that's really strong.
Yeah, the one guy that had a video said there was a different kind of acid.
I mean, anything like vinegar would even work. Really strong. There's a industrial grade vinegar that can get rid of some calcite.
Sorry.
Back a little bit and let's put a little spray on it so you can see it in its matrix here. So,
Oh, good.
see back in there?
Okay, Terry.
Yeah, just a second.
Terry.
It looks like carnelian. Ouch.
That is a big chunker.
Hey, look
It's from
at-
the producer mine.
Yes. This is what we call it, the producer.
The
'Cause we've got 2
producers.
buckets.
That's a serious piece there.
That is.
I would say the Saddle Mountain trip was a resounding success for the club. I think everybody had a good time. Some people found a big log, which is pretty cool. That was the first time I'd been up there when someone found one. I think someone on the club trip found one last year as well. So they're definitely up there. I don't think I'll be able to show a photo of the finished piece that they got out, but kind of that big chunk that I showed that they first exposed, they got pretty much all of that out intact, but there was still, feet of log or something like that that's still in the ground there that they're maybe going to go back to dig out. And so after driving 130 miles or something round trip, this is what I came up with. It's not much. There's, this piece isn't that great. There's not too much to it. I only came back with this much because I already had these 2 buckets of Saddle Mountain petrified wood. This is kind of the cull wood, and that's the better stuff that I'm going to keep. So I think that'll go in there for the future rock pile. I like, this one has kind of that, maybe it's a limb cast-esque thing. There's a little bit of a core. I think I might slice that one up that way and just see if that eye continues on through. I don't really see it on the other side here. This one was kind of flat, has a little bit of a texture, kind of some lineations on the inside there. That could be interesting. And this one has some interesting things going on, I think. These are all wet because I just cleaned them off. I really like this area here where it's kind of orangey and then black, and there's some stripy orange and black and yellow interplay, like right here. And that almost looks like it's, a root burl or something that was separate. And this one might be sort of an amalgam of a couple different pieces of petrified wood in a, crumbly matrix. I still like my little shard that I found. It glows nicely. It has kind of an interesting wavy look to it. So I don't think I would facet it just because it's not linear enough to facet. But I do have a Dremel, so maybe I'll try to clean that up and make that almost like I think a leaf or something would be pretty cool to carve into that, as I've never carved anything, so that would be an interesting experiment. And then my first and most interesting find was the little kind of root-esque thing. Maybe it's a branch. It's got pretty much just white running through it. So I don't think that there's going to be much for color on the inside here, but I do like the texture. And there's a little bit of maybe caliche up here. So I think this is a good contender for dumping in some acid and seeing if anything else gets exposed. Maybe I'll slice off just the end. I don't think I want to do too much to this other side just because I don't want to lose that little kind of branch that's starting to poke out of here. But maybe seeing what's exposed over here when I get rid of this sort of overgrowth material could be cool. Saddle Mountain is certainly worth your visit if you're in eastern central Washington. It's very easily accessible, and you find lots of cool stuff, even just surface picking. That's what some of the members did. So definitely go check it out if you're in the area. And if I don't see you up there, I'll see you at the next video.